All right, it's time for a little video here, and I'm just going to respond in this video in English to the campaign that the Danish government and its intelligence services have recently launched against my small business again. I'm sure you have heard about it because I heard American YouTubers talk about how I was supposing scamming people, and I'll tell you the ins and out of this little story. We had the Danish government again made public announcements to the Danish population, asking or setting it as a requirement that if you purchased any given engine at that point in time, you had to make a problem out of it. And they succeeded getting one person to do this. They found an engine with a minor fault on it, and then they turned it into a great big deal. And they had hoped that I would respond in a different manner than I did. So the end of the story is that they didn't succeed. But before we get to that point, I want to tell you about all the bullshit that I had to go through, because they tried all sorts of things. So we had this engine here in really good nick. It had one little mistake underneath where a little piece of aluminium had broken off where you put the spring for the center stand. I hadn't noticed this, but of course it was a minor problem, could easily be fixed. But they made a big deal of it, as I said. The guy who bought it called me up a few times before even purchasing, asking all kinds of in-depth, deep questions way beyond the scope of buying an engine, just to test my knowledge regarding two-stroke engines. And so I already kind of knew there was going to be problems with him, but I let him purchase the engine anyway. As soon as he got the engine, he claimed that there was something wrong with the stator, that it didn't fit on his scooter, despite it being an original OEM part from PGO. And I had to show a picture how it fit in any given wiring. And then a few days after, he wanted to do an RMA. I asked what the problems were. Then he listed a couple of small problems that was already visible in the sales ad. Then he mentioned this little part underneath, which was fine, which I immediately acknowledged and told him he could just send the engine back. But of course, he was not willing to send the engine back, and in fact, he made a big deal out of not doing so. And they claimed that I was the one who was scamming him, and I was going to cheat him out of all of his money and whatnot, and threatening me with violence, and then threatening me with the police, and threatening me with putting me on the paper. And then it became quite obvious that this person was just an de facto agent provocateur that had been coerced or enticed by the Danish government again, just to make problems out of a purchase. And that was what this whole thing was about. But there was a lot of things going on in between. For example, he wanted me to give him money. I was able to compensate him a little bit for this mistake, but I was not willing to pay out more money than it would cost me to fix the problem myself and send it back and forth. And that amount of money he was not willing to accept. He tried to strong arm me, or I say the intelligence, because it was Trumpian all the way along. They tried to strong arm me that he was going to report me to the police if I didn't pay him 500 krona, and he put me in the paper and all these things, as I said. And then afterwards, he had one of his mates tried to because I made a video, of course, of this whole situation immediately the same day it took place, and that's one of the reasons why it didn't why their campaign didn't materialize, because anybody in Denmark who's following the story even remotely would be able to see our interactions, because I had recorded everything, which I obviously have to do in this day and age. I both had the recording, our phone recordings, our SMS correspondences, where he's just bombarding me with messages and I'm just replying completely void of any emotional or any palaver at all, just telling him to send the engine back. But of course he was not willing to send the engine back. He was just wanted to make a problem out of it. And then he also wrote on all my Facebook ads regarding me not being able to sell my car, claiming that I was scamming people. But as we see, this is just another example of the state and intelligence trying to fabricate pretexts out of nothing, or out of really small problems that could be fixed very easily and without problems, because that is, after all, what they do. They don't have anything on me, so they have to lie, cheat and steal, and that is exactly what they do. And every time they want to justify it, they just claim me to be some kind of the world's most prolific sex criminal the world has ever seen, without there being any cases. Or when they want to discredit me, they super hyper focus on my non-existing sex life. I mean, it is so blatantly obvious by now, but these are the things that always go on in the global social engineering experiment.